Let's work through solving this word problem together. So let's identify key pieces of information to start. This says, Max wants to run 5.5 miles. I'm going to circle anytime I see a number. Max wants to run 5.5 miles to train for track season. If the total length around the track is 3/4 of a mile, how many laps does Max need to run around the track? All right, so we circled numbers. Now let's go back and underline key piece of information. So he wants to run 5.5 miles to train for track season. If the total length around the track is 3/4 of a mile, how many laps, this is the big question, how many laps does Max need to run around the track? All right, so we know how much he wants to run, and we know how much the track is, so we have to think, how are we going to determine how many laps he has to run? So I would think that this could be a simple division problem, because if we know he wants to run 5.5, and we know the track is 3/4 of a mile, we would have to divide by 3/4 in order to understand how many laps he would have to run around the track. All right, and lucky enough for us, we know exactly how to divide fractions. The only thing we would have to do here is go ahead and convert to an improper fraction from that mixed number, since we know how to divide fractions. All right, so we know in order to convert a mixed number to an improper fraction, we would multiply the whole number times the denominator. So in this case, 5 times 2 would give us 10. Then we would add the numerator, so plus 1 more to give us 11. And we know that that would go over our denominator. And then we would leave this as it is, divided by 3/4. All right, so now we're left with 2 fractions to divide. And we know when we're dividing fractions, we're going to use this process called KCF. You guys know what it is. And that is keep, change, flip. So what am I going to do? You guys know the drill. I'm going to keep the first fraction. I am going to change from division to multiplication. And I am going to flip that last fraction. And now we know when we multiply fractions, all we have to do is multiply straight across. Now you guys know my advice in checking the diagonals to see if they have a common factor and simplifying at the beginning, since those are smaller numbers to deal with. So I'm going to check the diagonals. I have 11 and 3 here. And 11 and 3 do not have a common factor since they are both prime in this case. I'm going to check my others. I have 2 and 4. I know, first of all, those are both even numbers, and I know 2 goes into any even number. Therefore, I could simplify those by dividing them both by 2. I know 2 divided by 2 would simplify to 1. I know 4 divided by 2 would simplify to 2. And now I'm going to multiply straight across. I know 11 times 2 would be 22. And 1 times 3 would be 3. So we're left with our solution, which is 22 over 3. But of course, we want everything to be in proper form. Right now, this is an improper fraction, so we want to convert to a mixed number. So specifically, how many laps would that be? Remember, anytime you're converting from an improper fraction to a mixed number, you simply just divide. Our fraction symbol literally means divide. So 22 divided by 3, we're going to do this. 3 does not go into 2, so 3 goes into 22. How many times? Think about your facts. I know that 7 times 3 is 21, and that's really close. 2 minus 1 is 1. So remember, this is my whole number. My remainder becomes my new numerator, and I keep my denominator, which means this mixed number would convert to 7 and 1/3. So how many laps? We would have to run 7 and 1/3 laps in order to get to that 5.5 miles. All right, hopefully this helped you understand how to complete this problem.